and welcome back to the channel. This is Michelle, and I wanted to uh, with you, continue speaking with you about my experience moving here to Panama and the steps that I made. So once we decided that yes, Panama was going to be the place we wanted to go, of course we visited here a couple of times just to see what environment or what area we would want to live in, because there are several areas here. And we actually, Panama City just came in uh, very high for us just because we were not going to bring a car, and we needed everything that we could do, that we needed daily, to be close by. So we wanted to identify an area where we can walk pretty much to everything we wanted to do, or we can take a train or metro. Mind you, the train, metro, or a bus. Mind you, I think the bus fare right now is like 25 cents, and then for the metro, I'm not sure on that. Let me not give you a specific, but it's very inexpensive to ride the metro. Of course, we take Uber. So in my planning, we decided that we were going to go ahead and relocate here, the first thing we had to do is figure out what we're going to do about our house. We looked at sales, and at the time when we were considering selling was right around January. So we kind of picked a time. We said, okay, let's figure out if we sell it around March or April time. It'll be good when the season changes and the house looks better, in the summertime or spring. So we decided to put the house on the market. First, we had to find out what the value was, in the market at that time, and see where we wanted to start. So once we figured that out, we got with a realtor. He helped us, and we put our home on the market. That home on the market, the first listing, I believe, was in March, around the 1st of March. And it stayed on the market until around the end of May. So we did get a buyer for that. So in the process, we were trying to figure out how we were going to sell our cars and liquidate all of the other items that we had. So, a lot of the furniture we had for years. I mean, we had Christmas trees and all this stuff, collected over years of living in homes. So we decided how we were going to best, you know, kind of let go of a lot of things that we had. So a lot of it was giving away stuff, donating stuff. We sold a few items, but most of it was just a donation for, family members and friends who I knew pretty well. If they wanted certain items, we were willing to go ahead and let them take some things, and we sold some of our bigger things. And once we started doing that, then, the hardest part was trying to scale down. When you're trying to live a minimal lifestyle, you collected all these things, it's hard to let them go. So I had, things from our past, both me and my husband, that we had to just let go. And it was hard trying to give away or get rid of those things that made you happy at some point in your life. But then we had to think about our future. Do we want to just hold on to them things, or do we want to experience, different, bring about new memories and experience something different altogether? So that was the plan, to sell the house. We liquidated and sold our cars, both of them. Well, my car was still being paid for, so that's the one we sold. My husband has a Jeep 2014 Wrangler, and we kept that for now. It's parked at one of our parents' house, but in the future we were potentially going to sell that. We also had a camper that we used to take a lot of trips on, and we kept the camper so that if we went home, we'll have somewhere to stay. If we went back to, not home, but if we went back to the U.S., we'll have somewhere to stay. And so that's parked at our parents' house as well. So, that's what we did. In the meantime, we had to look up, how we would start bank accounts, how we would transfer our money, what kind of retirement, we would invest in. So all of those things came with time. But mind you, we started this process. We made a final decision in January, and now it is May, and we are here in Panama with our permanent residency already. So it doesn't take long if you put your mind to if you have a plan and you put your mind to what you're going to do. We also traveled with our pet, and that was a whole process. We had to put everything on a timeline. So from the time we had to get, when we decided we were going to come, we had to get background checks, FBI background checks. We had to have a marriage license that was up to date. We had to prove our income and that it was a lifetime income. So we did all that, got all that paperwork in, and then we had to have it authenticated at the Panama embassy. So that was in Tampa. So we all of this stuff we planned out. So we got that paperwork. We drove to we drove to Tampa, got that paper certified and authenticated. That's the word I'm looking for. So that we can get our temporary visas in Panama. So we did 3 scouting trips. That first scouting trip was we were looking for if we can live here, if that's something we like. The second trip we applied for our temporary visa with those documents that we had authenticated. And then the third time we came, we were just finalizing everything, like getting an apartment, signing a lease, and all those type of things. So we did that on our third trip. And then actually the fourth trip we were here. So that's a whole process, and I'd like to explain each step to you, but these videos can be very long. So I just wanted to give a little bit of information, not too much to be overwhelming. And then I will come back with another video on the steps we took, what was the time frame for us exactly, how do we get our pet certified in that, because the pet has a whole time frame in of itself that you have to do, because you have documents for him. He has to get his shots, make sure he has everything that's required, get his ticket, make sure he's inspected. I mean, it's a whole process. So we did all this though within January to May. So hopefully some of this information will help someone who's interested in trying to start this process of how we did it. So I think I'm gonna end it now with that, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about the pet process and the steps we took to get our pet here. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you'll join me for the next episode. Have a great evening. Thank you.